This is Chet Holmgren, and I'm down to dunk.
This is AJ Mitchell, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Alex Crusoe, and I'm down to dunk.
It's like baby bottle pop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is Adam Flagler, and I'm down to dunk.
Hey, it's Isaiah Hartenstein, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Cason Wallace, and I'm down to dunk.
I can't spell Lucas. Hey, how do you spell Lucas? How do you spell Lucas?
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
This is Nikola Topic, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Dylan Jones, and I'm down to dunk. This is Isaiah Joe, and I'm down to dunk.
And there's probably like 50 to 75 Beanie Babies.
Give me like your top 3 Pokemon.
Brother, I can't even name.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
Sometimes the way his brain works is it leaves a lot to be desired.
This is Kenrich Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
Charmander.
Yeah.
Charmander. Or you're more of a Charmeleon guy.
Charmeleon.
This is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
Schlecht. You know what it means? Yeah.
That means like bad.
It means bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, it was a good interview, so it wasn't bad.
J-Dub, year 3, and I'm down to dunk for the 3rd time. Thank you.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlechter, part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me tonight, I've got Taylor.
Slam through.
I've got Jay.
Hey, it's Jay.
Guys,
that was one of the most dominant fourth quarters I've ever seen in my life. The Thunder won the fourth quarter 32 points to 8 over the Miami Heat last night. It was an amazing performance.
Wouldn't it be nice
Such
to just
a weird game.
completely forget that game that we just watched didn't happen at all? Like that would be nice.
Yeah, the vibes going into the All-Star break would be a little different if they didn't just have that just clunker, if you will.
Yeah, that was
Minnesota.
Miserable. That was miserable. Yeah, they lost.
Worst game of the season
by far.
God, we've said that 3 times. By far.
By far.
All right, I can't remember the other
unless
times.
You're counting the one that in the at NBA Cup. Are we counting that one? Did that count?
I don't.
All right. Well, then yes, this was the one.
Sound off in the chat. What was the worst game of the season?
I mean, here's the thing: it's like that they lost with both Chet and Ihart, like and against a team that didn't have Gobert, didn't have Mike Conley, didn't have all these guys. You know, so I mean, like that's I think what makes it feel the worst. Daniel Sinney in the chat gives us a super chat, says schedule loss, but I'm still never forgiving Mikele Bear for cursing us against Naz Reid. He was unstoppable. Yeah, that is probably Mikele's fault. Yeah.
Why would you even have like Naz Reid should be your starting center?
Yeah. I think that kind of, I mean, it makes you wonder, right?
That's what I was wondering in this game the whole time.
He was unreal.
Like, their offense looks like it has a lot of flow without trying to work in Gobert.
Yeah, it does. Also, this was a wild game for the Wolves. They were very good in this game,
dude. And like, I think that they had like controllers on the rims, like maybe they could shake the rims because everything that hit the rim for the Wolves just dropped in.
Yeah,
and everything for us that hit the rim, like Dort had that shot that like rimmed in once, hit off the backboard, rimmed around again, and then came out. Just one of those games.
Here's my explanation.
Let's hear it.
The Thunder are tired, as all NBA teams are going into the last game before the All-Star break. Everybody's ready for the
5 games in 7 nights. That's a lot of games.
5 games. There's a lot of excuses built in, but what happens is they didn't play against a team of like, oh, it's a bunch of their starters and stars and they're all waiting too. It was a collection of random guys that don't play a ton. And they brought effort and energy. And we've said this before watching this team play is it's like any team filled with NBA players, even though they're guys that, I mean, I didn't know half of the guys that the Wolves played tonight.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like there was who was the guy that hit the weird hook shot to finish the first half?
Terrence Shannon Jr.
Yeah. Terrence Shannon Jr. played 29 minutes, was a plus 23 for the Wolves.
Yeah, he's
And
averaging 2.5 points per game this season, Jay. So show the man a little respect, please.
but it's just the amount of effort that those guys were putting in that the Thunder, for the first time, I mean, in a long time, they didn't match the effort of the opposing team, and it showed. They got it, they tied it in the second half in the third quarter. I think it was at like 92, and then it was basically the game was over from that point on. And Shea was not good at all. Shea started the game 1 of 11, and then he finished the game 6 of 21 from the field, only 2 3-pointers. Even guys like Joe was 0 of 5 overall, 0 of 4 from the 3-point line. I was the one on the podcast that probably was the most optimistic about how Chet would fit and feel re-entering into this team, and it is clunky at best on the offense, right? On the offensive side, especially.
It's just and it was unfair before he even came back. Like that's why I've kind of been like giving Luke some crap, saying like, "Oh no, he's going to be back. Thunder don't do minutes restrictions and all this stuff." Right? It's like he's coming off of a big injury. I know we can say, "Well, it was just a little fracture. It's not a." It doesn't affect his movement and all that, but that is a big injury that will, at the very least, affect a player mentally in how they approach a game a little bit. He's still young. So I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me that he's still going to ease back in.
Well, and the team definitely developed a way of playing without him.
Yeah.
And a really good level of play. But Chet's just rusty. Like you can clearly see his own frustration.
Yeah.
There was one play where he missed, I think, 2 bunnies back to back and got the rebounds. He ended up finishing.
And there was another one where he did that and he got fouled and didn't even finish it. You know, like it's just like his touch is off, his timing is off.
Yeah.
He's pumped
and then
everything on the perimeter.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit some of those worst moments from last year. And then you have like the play that just shows you what Chet is going through is when he kind of tripped up on Kenrich and fell underneath their own basket and then kind of lost the ball and somehow in losing it just propelled it out of bounds underneath the basket.
Yeah.
And you could just see him like, what the crap? Which Chet also, he's from Minnesota. He wants to play well there. He's got, he has friends and family that are coming to that game that normally wouldn't. And he just, his highlight was getting absolutely obliterated by Ant on a dunk.
And that's what I was going to say too. Like poor Chet, they're trying to poster him literally all night, him and Ihart. And Chet blocked one attempt. I think it was Shannon that tried to poster him again after Ant postered him. And just poor Chet. And just remember, before he was injured, he's getting the ball off the dribble outside the 3-point line and taking people to the hoop. Like we just haven't, he's not back to that point yet. And that's okay. He can't be. That's why he's back this early before All-Star or before playoffs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he played. I mean, he played 30 minutes tonight too, which is a good sign. Some of it's just like getting back in game shape, like trusting your body, and he's gonna have a really good. I mean, he's got a week now to kind of work on a lot of stuff, and you have to know that like this is probably leaving a really bad taste in his mouth, and in a lot of players' mouths, honestly, for the Thunder to get back and get motivated. I think that's part of why Minnesota played really well because they just lost to a Bucks team that was essentially led by Kyle Kuzma last night. And like that was embarrassing for this Wolves team. And so like these NBA guys, like every team has pride. And when you lose a game, you were not supposed to lose. Like it just wasn't supposed to happen. Most of the time teams bounce back if like you have any pride whatsoever. And I think like that's a part of what we're seeing tonight too. That's like the 5 games in 7 nights, that was mentioned here by Jonas in the chat, gave us a super chat. And then I think that it's part of it is like just that pride that the Wolves clearly have. They're not some great team. They're 6 games above 500, which is fine in the Western Conference. But I mean, like just big picture. I mean, the Thunder are 44-10 going into the All-Star break.
Yeah.
I mean, that is pretty wild to think that that's actually where they are today. And so like, yes, these kinds of games happen. I thought they were going to lose yesterday the Heat before they had that crazy comeback.
And that's important to remember too. Yes, you're right about the Wolves coming off of an embarrassing loss, and at the same time, the Thunder come off of a game last night where they're just battling the Heat all game and have some amazing fourth quarter, and that's probably why Shea shot kind of rough tonight too. I mean, he's giving 100% effort every night, and you play the Heat, and that's always a tough game. Doesn't matter who's on the Heat. It's like that's just one of those games that's just gonna take all the effort you have.
Yeah, the Wolves, they played really good defense. Like they were all over the place. They made things difficult for the Thunder. Thunder couldn't get any rhythm going on. They also, the Wolves, and I know, is it Finch or Fisher? Chris Finch?
Chris Finch. Chris Fisher is our broadcast
play-by-play, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris Finch is one of the things he had mentioned in one of the earlier interviews, in between a timeout or something like that, is he just talked about how important it was to limit the turnovers against the Thunder, which is what the Thunder feast on. And in the end, the Wolves, with really, who played point guard? Ant, I guess, technically. Nasri, but they only had 8 total turnovers. And it was a game in which Thunder, which I can imagine this has only happened a handful of times, lost the turnover battle. They had 9 and the Wolves had 8. And then the other one is the second chance points. I think in the end, it was like the Wolves had 47 second chance points or something ridiculous.
It did feel like they were getting making all the plays that the Thunder normally make, is what it felt like.
Yeah.
Like the Thunder usually thrive off of these plays, and the Wolves shot, I think, 11 more shots than the Thunder, and the Thunder consistently win that battle too. I just think that part of this is, like you said, they ran out of gas going into the break, and the offense was a little bit clunky with Chet and Ihart out there, and they're going to have to kind of go back to the drawing board and figure that out. And I have full faith that they will, in some capacity, figure that out. And I don't know. I don't take a ton away from this game. These games happen all over the NBA all the time. It's just weird for it to happen to the Thunder. You know? This happens to every team almost on a weekly basis, where they play this team that has this weird vendetta going on in their own minds that has nothing to do with the team that's playing in front of them, which is kind of what happened with this Wolves team. And it happens to every team. It just hasn't really happened to the Thunder very much this season. And so it's hard for Thunder fans to probably even process it.
Yeah, the Thunder heroic effort game that comes from one of the best teams in the league every now and then, which is what the Thunder are. It happened last night.
Yeah.
It's okay, we shouldn't have won that game last night. Normally that game is a loss.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So, it doesn't. It kind of sucks, and they tried to stay in there, but they just ran out of gas. Like you mentioned, all the hustle stats that the Wolves beat us on. That's what the Thunder win every single night. There's no Caruso tonight. Chet's coming back. Ihart gave everything he had in that second quarter to try to shift momentum. He had 2 huge monster blocks in that second quarter to try to switch momentum. Just a ton of hustle, and it just, I don't know. They tried, they just didn't have it.
Yeah. And maybe even the first 3 quarters of last night should have shown us that maybe they're coasting a little bit into the break, but then they flipped the game in the fourth quarter with great defense, some hot shooting, and then the Heat were so bad. And I have a stat that I have for Slam and Jam this weekend about the Heat. I'll just say that's not the first time the Heat have been like that this season. That's happened before to the Miami Heat, which is pretty wild. Taylor, you okay?
Huh?
You muted yourself, and then
and then did what?
The video up.
And then
I know what you did. So did everybody else in the podcast world.
Oh, sorry, I did it backwards.
And your eyes.
Oh, dang it! I forgot to turn both off.
Wild.
Anything else? Any other takeaways from this game?
Nope.
We don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it, because I don't think there's a whole lot. Shea had a strangely bad game, to be honest. What did you guys think of the crowd chanting "free throw merchant" at at Shea.
I apparently couldn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either.
But, I mean, it's like free throw merchant, blap, 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 blap at him while he's at the free throw line. He's like smiling ear to ear as he hears it and then swishes the free throw. But you guys have thoughts on the crowd chanting that at him?
Yeah, my thought is people love to hate OKC. Every year we have something else.
He shot the same amount of free throws that Ant did, by the way, and scored more points than Ant did.
It's
actually.
it's the narrative around Shea, and it's not fair, but it is the narrative, and I get annoyed by it. But what does that matter? I mean,
Yeah,
like Shea, as long as he just does, like he doesn't care. Hey, guess what? It's part of the game, and I'm going to continue to do it. And if the refs have a problem with it, they can stop calling it.
yeah. It's
Like I don't think it's real.
when did free throws become a bad thing for guys to do? When did that become a bad thing?
When it's OKC. And I really feel this way. Like I just feel like every year there's something else. It's like OKC. I mean, they shouldn't be good, right? It's the same. It's the same energy as no one's scared of OKC in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, did people watch Michael Jordan? Has anybody seen him play basketball?
Remember when KD's a scoring champ, and they're like, "Wow, he's so good at getting in the free throw line." Same with Harden. That was the narrative around them.
Yeah, did
when they were
anybody watch
scoring
Kobe
champs.
Bryant? Like,
Yeah.
do people watch these scoring guards and like understand that all of them shoot between 8 and 10 free throws per game, like almost their entire careers? Like, that's what those guys do. So, like, what are we doing as like a basketball culture? Like, acting like getting to the free throw line is a bad thing. Like, it's just weird, and it's across the league. It's not even really an OKC thing. It's like become this thing that people like go after and like, man, I wish it was like it used to be. We got these free throw merchants now. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, the game used to be much slower, and MJ used to take a ton of free throws every game. I don't know. I just think it's weird. I just think it's a weird thing that people have started to do online and I just honestly don't get it. I don't get it because it's like if that's your attack against somebody, it just shows me like you haven't been watching basketball for very long.
Yeah, let me tell you the top players in NBA all time who have the like free throw attempts per game in their career, right? Number 1, Wilt Chamberlain, 11.4 free throw merchant, dude. Number 2, Bob
Uh-oh.
He's gonna say,
skipping over. Number
What do you
4,
think,
Jerry
Bob?
West. Number 5, Shaquille O'Neal. Number 6, George Mikan. Number 7, Allen Iverson. Number 8, Karl Malone. It's been happening, guys. Those are some of the best guys in the league ever.
Yeah.
Bob Pettit, are you kidding me?
It's just bizarre. It's just bizarre. It is just a bizarre thing that has like started in NBA culture that I just don't quite understand. Like I really don't care what people say. Like it doesn't really bother me. I just think it's weird. I just think it's very strange.
Yeah, it's it just feels just a way to try to hate on a team that's doing really well, and whatever. Who cares?
Who cares, man?
Moving on, the Thunder 44-10 going into the All-Star break. Still on pace for what, 67, 68 wins on the season.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's hard. The frustration about tonight is it really does kind of put a weird taste in our mouth after just a dominant week.
Yeah.
Where they just slaughtered every opponent they had, and then they just were flat tonight. So All-Star weekend starts tomorrow night with the celebrity game. Really excited for that one. Can't wait to see.
Game?
Oh man, can't wait to see one celebrity play against another one. All those one celebrities that I love to watch play versus those other celebrities I love
Do you
to
know
watch play.
anybody that's in the celebrity game?
I hope Kevin Hart in it.
I don't know. He's like a part of like the entire All-Star weekend, apparently.
I mean, I'm assuming, or do they have WNBA players playing with the celebrities?
Like with
Sometimes they do that.
celebrities? I'm trying to pull up a list as we speak.
I got the list right here.
Okay.
So this is team Barry Bonds and 2 Chains. We got
Wait, what?
how do you say his name? Con.
Taylor, your internet's so bad. And number 2, Barry Bonds is coaching
really?
one of these teams? No, he's not. No, he's
Yeah,
not.
Barry Bonds and 2 Chains, dude. They're known as coaches.
Yeah, Team Bonds and 2 Chains.
We got Dylan
real?
Wang.
Yeah.
We got Dylan Wang in the house. We got Baron Davis.
Okay.
And then a bunch of people I don't know. And then Team Jerry Rice and Cabby Lame. I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
Drewski, I know him. He's hilarious. Shabuzi, I know him.
Chris Brickley, Walker Hayes. You guys know Walker Hayes?
Is he a country music
baby,
star?
this is when we need Luke.
Oliver Stark,
Walker
Matt
Hayes.
Barnes, celebrity.
Yeah, Matt Barnes.
Kayla Thornton,
Terrell Owens.
WNBA player. Shelby McEwen, Olympic silver medalist. Bailey, WWE star. This is where we need the L-Man. Terrell Owens is playing in the game. That's a celebrity I know.
Is my internet that bad? Because I said like half of what you just said.
Yeah, it's bad.
Not here.
Yeah, we haven't heard any of this, honestly.
I think you may be running out of minutes on your AOL CD. And gone.
and he is gone. Okay, so celebrity game, maybe that's for you. I don't know.
I never even saw the 3-point contest is Saturday, and I don't know who's in it either.
Oh, you haven't heard who the contestants are in the 3-point contest. Let me pull.
I'm pulling up. I beat you to it. Ooh, I forgot it's also still sponsored by Starry.
Shout out to Starry.
Oh, what? Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Buddy Hield, Cameron Johnson, Damian Lillard, and Norman Powell.
It's a good slate of 3-point shooters.
I just don't think of Brunson as a 3-point shooter, nor do I think of Cade that way.
Yeah,
but you know what? Sounds great.
What? I mean, what's Isaiah Joe got to do to make this thing?
I don't know. What about Aaron Wiggins?
Yeah, I mean, with the way he's been shooting lately, feels like he should
be shoot perfectly in the 3-point contest. So the key is skills challenge. You got the Team Warriors, Draymond Green and Moses Moody. Wow. Chris Paul and Wemby for the Team Spurs. Team Rooks, you got Ricochet and Alex Sarr, and then Team Cavs. Why did they pick the Cavs?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Why pick Team Cavs? Why not Team Thunder?
I guess it's at that point maybe they were the best team in the league.
Maybe.
But of course they got to put the Spurs in there because why can you not,
Yeah, you have. They have to.
And then really looking forward to the dunk contest between Modest Buzelis, Stephon Castle, Andre Jackson, man, one of my favorite dunkers. And then, of course, Mac McClung from the Osceola Magic. How do you say that? What do you think? OSCEOLA.
I don't know. Here's the deal. Mac McClung's going to win it one more time, and then he's done. So that's all I know.
How
much money has that made him?
That's great.
He's going to walk off like Vince Carter and just
a decent amount.
It's over. It's over.
So Rising Stars is tomorrow as well.
Yeah, but Kaysen's not even playing, so I'm out. Don't care.
Kaysen's not playing. What is interesting, though, is that whatever team wins this Rising Star little mini tournament will play again on Sunday in the All-Star tournament.
I do like that.
Which is first. I do think there is some potential for it. I know people will just want to just completely dismiss it, and that's fine, and that's understandable. But it is like first to 40. So it's not just like based on time. It's based on the amount of points you score. So I am mildly interested and going into it open-minded. I don't I'm not like thinking like, oh, this is gonna be awesome or this is gonna be terrible. Like I just like I'm gonna go into it open minded just to see, because like maybe some of the guys will care. And whenever if it's like 38 to 38 or something, like that could be pretty cool. Like there could be some cool scenarios.
Taylor, have you seen who the coaches are for this Rising Stars game?
No.
Please
tell me.
No. Can you just give me 4 former players that you think would be like some sort of excitement about being the coaches for this? This is so unfair because in a million years you would not get any of them, but maybe one.
Give me a team from the past.
I'm assuming they all played for the Warriors.
They have all played for the Warriors. They're all
right. Let's go.
Yes.
I'm gonna go like early to mid 90s Warriors. So we're going Mitch Richmond and Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah.
Wow,
Tim
I got
Hardaway.
it.
Tim Hardaway Sr., but yes.
I mean, yeah, not junior, but yeah.
I cheated, no doubt.
Chris Mullins, and then the one I was
Chris Mullins.
The one I was setting you up for is Jeremy Lin.
Oh, don't set me up for that right now.
He's
Team
coaching the G League team, which what a disaster it could be. They're setting themselves up for disaster with this, because if the G League team made it to Sunday, that would be pretty rough.
Yeah, my favorite player on that team is Dink Pate.
You a big dink guy?
I'm a big dinky head.
I mean, they have Reed Shepherd. They have Reed Shepherd, who could just go crazy for a couple games and get themselves to this game on Sunday. That would be rough.
Leonard Miller.
Yeah, Leonard Miller is on there. Bryce McGowan's. I once met Bryce McGowan's aunt at Summer League.
Wow, what an exciting story! Please tell us about that.
Well,
isn't Pat Spencer getting real minutes for the Warriors?
Yeah, he is. He was, at least.
He's played minutes here and there. He did play against the Thunder. Anyways, I saw an older woman wearing a Bryce McGowan's jersey, and I said, I have to know why you're wearing a Bryce McGowan's jersey. He said, I'm his aunt.
Guys, these teams are not very good.
Honey, listen. These teams, these rookies are not very good. They're just not. The fact that Wemby decided that he's too good to play in this game also is a problem.
I mean,
it would be really challenging for him to play against himself in the All-Star game.
That would be amazing.
Hey, since when are there actual real NBA games the night before All-Star weekend starts?
It does feel a little bit like there should have been like Wednesday nights the last night of the season.
Yeah, we've just ended. Yeah.
So Mark, J-Dub, and Shea, probably some other guys too, are going to head to San Francisco, probably directly from Minnesota.
Perhaps.
They were saying something about it on the broadcast about Mark and Shea and Dub riding together.
Yeah. Road trip?
Bus. Yep. A little road trip across the country.
What do you think
Minneapolis,
they're talking about?
San Francisco. Probably, I don't know, Charmeleon.
I mean, Charmander.
I think if I was going to bet, guys, right now, if I was going to put the belt on the line, Team T is going to win.
Okay. What makes you say that?
Well, you got Podzemski, who's a guy that's going to probably score a lot of points. You got Jamie Jaquez, who's
Jamie Jaquez. I have that on here somewhere. Nope.
With Jamie Jaquez.
I mean, he's a real player. He's a try hard. Grady Dick's a lot of fun and shoots the ball some. And then you have a lot of guys you don't really care about. But
no, come on, you didn't mention Zachary Richache.
Richache?
He's been a little bit better, right?
He's all right.
Good. He's legit.
He's all right. Yeah.
And then I don't like anybody on these other ones. I do like having the Thompson brothers together. That's a lot of fun for Team M.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bub and Tumani Kamara, who's maybe he's a freaking great player.
They're just going to lock people down. And Bilal, I mean, come on.
You know, we got to watch this game just for the defense. You know,
That's why I tune in on All-Star Weekend.
yeah,
So
you
we
got to
tune in
watch
for
it
the
just for
Rising
the
Stars
defense.
Challenge. His defense and almost nobody that can score. I mean, they're. Let me look at this. Yeah, they have 2 guys, I guess 3 guys that are averaging over 10 points per game, but the most is 13.7 for Amen.
That's awesome. You got more points per game coming out of the G League.
It's gonna be awesome. I mean, of course you do.
That's great.
Everybody can score in the G League. Reed Shepherd's averaging 38 and 34 and 8 in the G League.
Yeah, baby. Hey, let me just give a little history reminder of Rising Stars when a former player who was going to be a point guard, he was about 6'9", white guy from Australia, was mic'd up in the Rising Stars game and was a future star. You guys remember him? He was on the Thunder.
Oh, Josh Giddey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? I don't know what you're referring to.
I'm just referring to how things change, you know?
Just change in general?
Yeah, things can change.
So the Thunder have a full week off. Their next game is the next game they have is actually in Salt Lake City on Friday, the 21st. And then they have that little I don't know what we call it. It's a back-to-back against the Wolves again. So we actually see the Wolves 3 times in 4 games after tonight being the first one. And then they, on next Sunday, the 23rd, play at 8:30 p.m., which is actually in Minnesota again. And then they fly home to Oklahoma City and play on the 24th.
It's called a home and home.
A home and home. A home and home. But they're playing back-to-back. So you get on a plane, fly from Minneapolis to Oklahoma City, play the next night, and then a few kind of respite games after that where they play the Nets, they play the Hawks to end out the month of February. But a full weekend for the boys into Monday.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I think that they're in need of a little rest for sure. And you know, you like wonder sometimes, you're like, man, why don't these guys like try in the All-Star games? Like, because they play 82 games in a season is maybe why. You ever think of that? Like, why? Like there's no incentive. There's like true incentive for them to try that hard. So it'll be nice to see J-Dub and Shea like playing in all these All-Star games. You know, multiple games. I don't know. But yeah, it's really more just about the honor of like knowing that these are like 2 of the best guys in the NBA. It's pretty cool.
It's all about the honor, Andrew.
It's all about the honor. Hey, you guys want to just fire through some Twitter questions?
Yeah, let it rip.
Okay, let's take a quick break and then we'll do some Twitter questions. And we're back after that quick break, and it's time for some Twitter questions.
Twitter questions. You got questions and you have them on Twitter. Now we answer them for you. This is Twitter questions. Let's get down to it.
Jimmy. Our first Twitter question comes from, let's see, Think of a Card wants to know, is Wiggins our 3rd best offensive player?
Shea Dub. I would say it's pretty good. I'd still say Chet.
Yeah, you can't take Chet out yet. That's not fair.
I think he is probably their 3rd best, like 3-level scorer, I would say. But the thing about offense, though, is like there's so much more to it than just scoring. You know,
3
You're
levels.
right.
Man.
What do you mean? Will you break that down, Andrew? That's interesting. Offense, there's more to it than just scoring.
I just think that like the way that Hartenstein operates on the offensive end is so helpful.
Yeah,
like, he's a really good offensive player because of his screening and the way that he passes and the way that he just helps this team get to the hoop. I think that he is probably underrated as an offensive player overall, just because he doesn't score a ton. Like he hasn't had like a 30-point game or a 42-point game like Wiggins has, but he's like consistently on a night-to-night basis, like helping the offense get into its groove like every single night. And so I think like those kinds of things go a little bit underrated. But as far as like scoring goes, like I think he probably is. I mean, what he can do as a shooter from three is great. He can drive to the hoop. He's got like really fancy finishes. He's got great footwork around the hoop too. So yeah, I mean he's a very good player. He's played really well lately, and I think that's certainly fair to say recently. But he's also gone through stretches where he's just been almost invisible. So like yes, during this stretch it feels like that. But if you would have asked like a month ago when he was kind of struggling, like people are like, why is he even playing? Why don't we get him off the team? We need to trade him, blah, 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 So like he's a role player. Like there's nothing wrong with that. He's a very good role player. But consistently, I think like Chet and Hartenstein are just better. Even Dort is probably more of a consistent contributor on the offensive end. Like Dort, this will go under the radar tonight. Like Dort had some really nice finishes in transition, like getting to the hoop and like actually finishing at the rim. And so he's improving as well. So I think there's a lot of options for that slot, but I still think like Chet occupies the next slot. I probably put Hartenstein next. And then like we can talk about Aaron Wiggins from there.
Yeah, I agree. And I would even argue that Chet is still a better scorer. I would just say it goes
he definitely
Shea,
is.
Dub, Chet, and that's it. If you're talking about scoring or just offense in a more generalized way, I would still put Chet there.
Yeah. Thundermetrics wants to know, this is the first year I'll be older than the incoming draftees. How do y'all get over not making it to the league?
You just keep thinking that you're younger than NBA players. Just don't accept that you're older than them.
Don't accept the reality is how you do it.
Just don't accept it.
Yeah.
Jay, how do you do it, man?
Yeah, it just was not ever going to be a reality. Like I am am I frozen?
Yeah, you are. And it's great because it's like such a good face
there you're
behind
back.
what you're saying. Yeah, there you
What?
go.
That was wild. So yeah, I mean I'm 6'3", which is tall compared to some people, but I am like a strict 5 on the basketball court to a strict like maybe a stretch 5 to
You play as a point center, I'll say that.
Yeah, I've got a lot of and yeah, that just with my body and size and skill set, not going to make it to the NBA. I realized that pretty early in my life.
Yeah.
So I just talk about it.
Yeah, you'll be okay. Thundermetrics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zach Deeg wants to know, who's your biggest concern in the Western Conference? I feel like I've talked about this a lot. What do you
Denver
think?
Nuggets, man. The Denver Nuggets. And apparently Dallas. The zombie Mavericks are actually winning games.
No.
I don't know if it was while we were potting or before we potted, but Shams came out to say Daniel Gafford's out for 6 weeks with a knee sprain.
Yep. Yeah, that's a bummer. They just keep on winning though. They just beat the Heat. I think.
I know.
What did they won 2 or 3 in a row?
Yeah, 4 out of 5 or something like that.
Yeah. Last 4 out of 5. Yeah, they beat the Celtics, Rockets, lost to the Kings. Then they beat the Warriors and the Heat. It's wild.
Wild.
But yeah, I'm not afraid of them in a playoff series.
Oh no.
Let's see. JT Blount 2, is OKC making the rest of the West look a lot worse than it is, or is the West just actually weaker than we thought it would be coming into the season?
Andrew said this on Wednesday's podcast, is that it's stacked, but it's stacked with a lot of like okay to good teams.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of like good to great teams,
Mm-hmm.
Which is really important. It's you're supposed to go from good to great.
You're supposed to go from great.
If anyone knows about going from good to great, it's Andrew. Andrew has studied that book like it's I don't know. What book do people? The Bible. That's actually Andrew's Bible. Is From Good to Great.
Keeps it on his nightstand. First thing he does in the morning is just picks up. Isn't it Jim Collins? Who wrote that book?
There's only a few words in it. It's just like you should start at good, and then it should get better, which is great.
And Andrew gathers his whole family around every evening.
Friends,
and they go over.
Friends and family.
Them verses. He calls them verses. They're just paragraphs in the book, and they just go over.
Listen to this wisdom.
Paragraphs. Yeah.
You might start at good, but you want to get yourself to great.
Yep.
If you think good is good, let me tell you something. You could be great.
Great.
Great is good.
It could be.
Good is fine.
Oh boy, maybe this is appropriate for today from at Watkins B 1531. Tell me one thing that worries you about the Thunder in the playoffs.
Being tired, playing back to backs.
Playing
I guess we don't have to do that.
7 nights. Is that what
I am. I think appropriately nervous about like those just stretches when they just don't shoot well.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
And when a team limits them, and this is the Timberwolves. What the Timberwolves did tonight is a lot of what the Mavericks have been successful doing against the Thunders. You limit your turnovers, you control the ball, and you play within yourself and don't turn it over, and it limits because the Thunder are just a menace on fast breaks. I think the Thunder's half-court offense is way better than it was last year. I think that's proving out, obviously, and being as good as they are over the course of the season. Number 6, I think, in offensive rating. But, I do think that there's just in the back of my mind that fear of like all of a sudden they forgot how to shoot for a series.
So they played 12 games where they've shot 30% or less from 3. How many of those games were losses?
2, I think now. Maybe 3?
It's 2. I guess. Yeah. What did they shoot tonight?
That was one of them.
It'd be 3 then. So 3. It's 3 out of 13. So.
Yeah, tonight they shot not well. Where's that box score?
They have found ways to.
They shot 42% from the field, 24% from 3.
Yeah, 7 of 29 from the 3-point line.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do it.
The Wolves shot 42% and 26%.
Yeah, I mean this was definitely a game, and Mark even said this. I think the Thunder lost this game in the first quarter.
Yeah,
I mean the Wolves came out with force. Mark said it in between quarters, like they just didn't play like they wanted it as much.
And the other thing is the Thunder took 11 less shots overall.
Yeah,
and a total of 17 less 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I mean they made 5 more 3-pointers. So that math will math.
Mm-hmm. Every time.
Okay, let's see. We talked about this a little bit, but is a Hapu wants to know: can we rank the All-Star events by excitement level in order of best ice cream flavors?
Cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream.
I can't figure out where my hands are.
Number 1?
Yeah, probably for me.
Okay. Tayshaun?
He's gone. What's your number 1, Andrew? No, he's trying to get his dog to stop barking.
Oh.
Talking about his feet.
I think I do like cookies and cream quite a bit. I'm okay with that.
But I mean, what's your go-to then, man?
And I usually just get like a chocolate malt. Is usually what I get.
I just do. I'm even more boring. I'm a vanilla malt guy.
Really?
Oh yeah, so good.
I bet it's good.
I also love butter pecan. So
yeah, butter pecan's where it's at.
Have you ever had the black walnut ice cream?
I haven't had the black.
We talked about this. It tastes like licorice. Like it's poison. I don't know why that ever made it. It's not very good. No, it's awful.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you like that. I know.
My buddy got it. We were over at our neighbor's house, and he got it thinking it was going to be like butter pecan.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, this is real bad. You know what I'm saying, Taylor?
What are you talking about?
Black walnut ice cream.
No. Black Walnut, the restaurant, one of the best restaurants in OKC. I'm actually taking Kate to that chef's new restaurant in the Skirvin on Sunday. Talking about Valentine's Day, what are you boys doing for Valentine's Day?
None of your business.
Please
Yeah.
tell me.
It's really none of your business, Taylor.
Please tell me.
Taking my wife to Boulevard Steakhouse tomorrow night.
What are you guys gonna do on Valentine's night with your wives? Please tell me.
Please. We're going
Please.
we're gonna go to Cheever.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
Cheever's
Oh, that's
bread,
good,
man.
yeah.
They're little rolls. Mm.
They're good.
Mm-mm.
They're
Cheever's
good.
is
Everything
is
there is
legit.
good. Everything is
Yeah, yeah.
good.
I'm pretty sure I've only done. No, that's not true. I've done the chicken fried steak many a time.
Yeah.
And then I did the shrimp and grits one time, which was also very good.
Yeah.
Always good.
I've had a steak there that was unbelievable. I've even had they have sandwiches and stuff for lunch.
Yep.
It's
I've had those too.
It's all good. Let's see.
It is all good.
It's all good.
T Chala 8 wants to know. We all know Mark is a great coach, but is there anything that he's done that you haven't agreed with this year?
Yeah, playing Dylan Jones and Usman
Hey,
Jang.
I have a comment about Dylan Jones.
Okay.
Dylan Jones dribbles like he's constantly trying to catch himself from falling forward, and he runs without the ball like his head is trying to keep up with his body. Agree or disagree?
That's probably fair.
Okay.
That's probably a fair.
And it's not even the fact that I don't really I have no idea what to think about his future, but I know his current. I would rather him just be playing in the G League exclusively.
Yeah, I wonder if that will happen at some point. I just wonder if that will happen at some point. Even tonight. I mean,
he came off the bench pretty early tonight. I was like, there was a weird lineup where Dylan Jones and Jay Will were on the floor with Shea, and
I
was
know.
like, what is happening?
Yeah, he did it against the Heat too. Like that would be the one thing. It's just, and some of it is just like this, and it's the same mindset that has existed, and so it's hard for me to even I can't even get upset because it's the same mindset that has existed since 2020. You know,
Yeah.
it's not. This isn't anything different. I mean, if you put Truth Serum, in the Thunder executives, yeah, this is the same thing we've been doing the whole time. Like we've been trying to explore the roster, make sure that we understand who all these guys are, make sure that we understand what this roster is capable of, and we're going to put everything out there to find out. And I think that it feels like they've been using the last couple weeks to explore the studio space with Dylan Jones. It just kind of feels like that. And so I wonder if after the All-Star break, if they start to kind of fine tune some things and maybe let him see if he can help the Blue win another title. I don't know.
Hey, they need him. They really need him. You guys know what the Blues record is right now, right?
I have no idea. Do you?
I mean, tell me you know what the Blues record is right now.
I think I might know 3 people in the world that know it.
I mean, come on, they're 9-9.
Yeah, it's not great. But they started last year not great too. Who knows, man?
Who cares?
Who does care? I don't know. At JLaw091 wants to know which one of you is going to donate a hip to Alex Caruso.
Dude, that's who we missed tonight. I'll tell you that. We
Yeah.
really missed Caruso. Kenrich and Ihart gave everything they could. Even Dort in the second half, in the third and into the fourth, gave everything they could to try to get that hustle momentum going. But you needed Caruso to just go out there and literally try to kill himself to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
We need Caruso to die on the court for this team. And if he can't play, how can he commit suicide?
What?
What in the world? It has been a bummer that he's missed so much time, and it feels like he gets hurt every other game that he's in this season.
Yeah,
'cause he is extremely helpful to this team winning games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
he's
is. It is frustrating. At Hippo Dresser says, is Andrew considering switching from crutches to a cane at some point during recovery? Guy, I hope not. I don't want to have a cane.
That would be so cool. I just want you to think about it a little bit more.
Yeah, it would not be cool.
Think about it even more.
My hope is to go from crutches to walking. That would be my hope. Just like walking again. My leg is not going to be permanently damaged, so I don't think I need a cane. So hopefully
canes are cool though, man.
Are
canes
they
are cool?
Like,
yeah.
Well, when did this happen?
Like you put a sword in it.
I agree. You could put a sword in it. It could be a gun. Just things to consider, Andrew. And I think that look, Matt Noonan in the chat said pimp cane in a mink coat. What if you went to
That's where it became cool.
Yeah.
This is I almost bought one of these canes that has like a little sit down stool.
Is that true?
Yeah, I went.
What do you mean you almost bought one?
Where did this happen?
I went out of town for like 10 days and it was on this. I went to Israel and did this like tour of the Holy Land, in 2019. And you just stand a lot and walk around a lot. And my back at that point was it was unbearable for me. And so I was like, I got home and I was like, I'm buying one of these so you can just like have it and then you just pop it down and you just. If I ever got it, I bring it.
Jay complains about his back hurting. He's been complaining about his back hurting for years now.
An eternity, man.
That's why I'm laughing so much because I know it's real. I know what he's saying right now is he really did consider this.
Back in the day, I actually was having a lot of sciatica issues with my leg. So it wouldn't just stay in my back. It was like radiating down my leg. And so I would have to like double over the whole time. I was like, what in the world? Mostly it's back under control, right? Mostly I think I could walk for many, many miles and not have the same issue. So I'm not going to get that cane.
Yeah, with a cane stool probably.
For now.
You could.
But it's in the old Amazon save for later, okay? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to have to look up the cane stool. Is that what it's called?
I don't know. It may be made up. I feel like I had a friend that had one, and I was like, "Oh,
that's a thing, folding cane stool.
Is it real?
Yeah,
throw it on the screen. Throw it on the screen.
Don't act like you don't know if this is real, Jay. We know you really considered it.
I'm talking about.
Come on,
I know, but I just does it look comfortable?
It does not look cool.
No, I didn't figure it would look cool. I wasn't getting it for style.
I mean, that's what this whole conversation has been about.
It's a mink pimp coat and a
This conversation is proof that Down to Dunk has been around for a long time.
The Tada chair is
for a very long time.
Dude, look at that.
It's $150. Look at this.
Look how cozy he is.
Right, the tripod legs.
Yeah, they're like look at that picture of that first guy. It's like, you don't have to just be some old broken guy to use this. Look at this guy.
Yeah, we hike with this. Are you kidding me?
Do you have any idea how often I just been chilling like that in that seat?
Sit wherever you go as you please.
What is that second word? Picnic or bivouac?
Who wrote this copy? Sit wherever you go as you please. It's killing me.
You can take it mountain climbing, hiking, tracing the creek, fishing,
shopping. Just see Jay sat in the middle of Dillard's with his cane.
Yeah,
cane stool. Oh, that's a chair. Wow.
Step 2 Gold is the name of this company.
Oh, listen, guys, sit wherever you go as you please. All right.
Mm-hmm. If you're tracing the creek, just plop down on your little cane stool.
And you're tracing the creek. Oh man! All right, you guys got anything else?
No. What a crap night for the Thunder. But you know what? It's hard to be upset with this team.
That's right.
44-10. Let me just give some perspective. In the season, it was the 09-010 010. The 09-10 season.
Technically, that works actually. 2010.
Okay.
It's true.
The Thunder won 50 games, and we were like, "Oh my god, they're here."
Yeah.
This Thunder team is 6 games away from 50 wins before the All-Star break.
Yeah, that is wild.
If they would have tried a little harder, they'd probably already be there.
They would have just been healthy. Maybe they'd already be there.
I don't know if they would have lost if they'd been healthy all season.
We are also missing Case and Wallace too, by the way.
We've been missing people the whole season, so I hate that argument. I see that online too, of like, oh, the Thunder play injured teams all the time.
Yeah.
We've been injured all the time. I'm
Yeah.
sorry your team isn't as deep as us.
Yeah.
We're deep as hell, dude.
I mean,
sorry you're a Mavericks fan is what you're really trying to say.
Sorry about being a Mavericks or any other team fan. I mean,
I do feel bad for Mavericks fans now, though. I didn't a month ago, and now I do.
Still don't. I just think looking at like the history of the Thunder, isn't it wild that they've never won more than 60 games when you think about who has played for this team and like what they've kind of accomplished as a franchise in like this short period of time? They've never won more than 60 games.
There were just so many moments in the Thunder's past where they became apathetic way too often, in games where it was like, we just won't really put the effort in. I remember being so frustrated. I feel like every post All-Star break for that team was always just that, where it's like, some nights they show up, some nights they don't. And because they would always get to the playoffs, maybe not the 12-13 season or the 11-12, but especially those later ones where it's like, you just had very little faith in their ability to make a run. That's why the 2016 run was so shocking.
Yeah.
Because they didn't finish the season great from what I remember, but
they won 55 games that year. And the problem was that you just had these two just juggernaut teams in front of them in San Antonio, Golden State, where it just felt like, they're not anywhere close to them. Yeah, they lost 4 out of 6. The last 4 out of 6 they lost going into the playoffs, and you were just like, this is probably not going to be their year. They lost to Houston, they lost to Portland, they lost to Sacramento, and they lost the last game of the year to San Antonio, 98-102. And it just felt like, okay, great. But they didn't play anybody in that game. Starting lineup for that game, Dion Waiters, Cam Payne, Steven Adams, Nick Collison, and Andre Robertson. How did they score any points?
Yeah. I don't know if that says a bunch about like games in the Thunder's past or teams in the Thunder's past as much as it provides perspective on this team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because winning 60 games, that's amazing. That's a contender. Winning 55 games back then in the West is like, obviously they were a contender.
Yeah.
And they should have won.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. This is crazy. This team is so good.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, most franchises don't get to experience this. I mean, the Washington Wizards haven't won 50 games since 1979. Like, that's like a real thing. It's like a real stat. So, like, just enjoy it, Thunder fans. Like, this is one of the best. I mean, I believe they're the best team in the NBA. I think this is the best shot that they've had to win the title since 2016. And it's probably even back to really 2013, 14, or I guess 12, 13, I guess was that team whenever Russ got hurt, was like, because that year it really felt like, okay, they're actually going to go win it. It's been that long, it's been over a decade, since it's felt like, they can go do it. And like, this team is equipped to do it, and they need to get healthy. They need to figure out some things with Chet, and I think that they will. It's just exciting. It's an exciting time to be a Thunder fan, no doubt. So, okay. Are you guys miffed and are you peeved?
Miffed and peeved.
You miffed? You peeved?
I don't think so. I mean, I get miffed about this game.
Yeah.
How'd y'all feel about the snow days this week, man?
I mean, personally, like the ice and snow. It just like freaks me out. Being in my condition, like I just can't like get it. I can't do anything. Like I'm just indoors this whole time, just because I like can't on crutches can't do much. So not great. Didn't love it. Don't love it.
Yeah,
Miff-
see,
miff-
I was
miff
just
about
looking out for you, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay.
Just trying to set you up for miffed and peeved.
A little miffed. Yeah. I guess there's more on the horizon on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's supposed to be even colder this week.
Ugh.
What?
I know,
I
man.
hate the cold. I hate ice. I don't mind snow. I hate the ice. I hate feeling
I think there's snow on the horizon.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. As long as I can leave my house, that's fine. I hate when the ice is like, you can't even go get food.
Yeah. That's brutal. Tayshawn, you miffed? Peeved?
No. Besides ice?
Besides the ice?
Besides the ice? No, I'm good. I'm good, baby boo.
Hey, go get yourself an I Heart shirt.
Look at that.
The link is in. It's covering up Jay. Sorry, Jay. The link is on the Down to Dunk site. It's also on my Twitter page. Go check it out. It's a fun shirt. It's a great shirt.
You can also just Google Shopify Down to Dunk. It'll pop up.
That's another
I'm
way
sorry
to do it.
we don't have a Down to Dunk URL. That's Luke's fault. And it'll be there. I'll start shipping them out tomorrow. So if you order them tonight, they will be shipped out tomorrow.
Well, there you go. Gonna get your I Heart shirts just in time for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day week.
No. It's Valentine's Day.
Everybody enjoy your Valentine's days.
Ain't Valen.
Okay. Hope everybody's doing great. We will talk about All-Star Weekend next week. Maybe we can talk Alex into doing some trivia. Who knows?
We got a comment from Bebo. It says Valen space times.
Valentine's.
The old Horseman Elementary.
Horseman, dude.
Horseman. All right. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you guys again on Monday.